Okay, looks like we probably won't have time for Efrit. So Efrit, if you're there, you're lucky. You can you'll probably get to go in lesson 4. Now I'm just checking that gay marriage law because I'm very interested in this topic. Now,
so I need to give them my penouts and email the boss.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and do that while I'm looking at this information about gay marriage. I think it was 2019.
So this is the background information and some glossary. You're so considerate.
Thank you. And on the other side of the paper, you have a small quiz.
May 24 last year. May 24, when was this? May 24 last year. 2009, May 24, 2019. Gay marriage was legalized in Taiwan. Gay people could only marry foreigners from a country where same-sex marriage is also legal. Okay, so it looks like it actually is a complicated situation in Taiwan. It's not as clear as it's been legalized. I don't know, it would take a little bit more investigation, but I think roughly in 2019, there was a law passed in Taiwan. But the details of the law have several conditions. So I'd need to do more investigation, but okay. Sorry, Cullen. I'm ready for you. Yes, please.
Okay, so Zoe, Cullen, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cullen Hu I'm from Group 1. My student number is 3320360. This is 22 EAL from Tianwang International College. Today is Thursday, 23rd of December. My topic is gastric cancer in China. My presentation includes total 4 parts: warming up questions, background, causes of high incidence of gastric cancer in China, and methods to lower down the rate of gastric cancer. Since each patient has different causes for their disease, my presentation will only briefly discuss some aspects of the disease. At first, I want to have a small quiz. Please finish 3 true or false questions on the worksheet in 20 seconds individually. And you will be required to do the questions again at the end of the tutorial. You may start. Well, it seems like all of you are finished, so let's move on. There is some background information that I want you to know. Firstly, what is gastric cancer? Gastric cancer refers to the formation of tumors in the lining of stomach. It has another popular name, stomach cancer. However, the current situation in China is quite serious. According to World Health Organization, there are about 1.2 million new instances in the world each year. However, 40% occur in China. Please look at the map. China is here. We can clearly find that China is suffering gastric cancer. In addition, it is the third most common cancer in China. According to the data, we can clearly find that stomach cancer accounts for 10.5% among all types of cancers, which is quite high. Only about 20% are diagnosed in an early stage, most of which are advanced, so overall 5 years survival rate of less than 50%. But only a few people pay attention to it. Then, I would like to introduce some causes of the gastric cancer. Please notice that the disease is not formed by a single factor. Instead, it is formed by a combination of several causes. First one, the Helicobacter pylori. It is a common bacteria, for it has existed with humans for thousands of years. According to Dr. Gong from Jiangsu Provincial People's Hospital Digestive Disease Subcenter, it is considered globally as group 1 carcinogen. Then, the poor awareness of gastric cancer may increase risk as well. According to a recent research, about 47% participants noticed about the gastric cancer among 1,200 participants in Hunan province. In addition, Dr. Gong concluded that about 70% patients are not familiar with this due to all kinds of reasons. Next, I would like to talk about the third cause, which is Chinese dietary preferences and unhealthy habits. It is proven that consuming too much pickle food will increase the risk, as it may contain some carcinogenic compounds. In addition, drinking and smoking may contribute to the disease as well, with the support of many researchers. Statistics show that about 70.5% Chinese men smoke, and about 33% Chinese males are regular drinkers. This is the reason why the incidence for males is higher than females. By comparing these two figures, we can clearly find that males are more likely to get the cancer than females. Since we are familiar with the disease, I would like to talk about some methods which may lower down the rate of gastric cancer. Firstly, it is suggested to develop healthy and health dietary and life habits. According to Stanford University, we are suggested to eat more food with fiber and vitamin A and C. According to American Cancer Society, smoking and drinking should be avoided. It will not only lower down the rate of gastric cancer, but also other cancers such as lung cancer. Secondly, it is necessary to publicize some basics about gastric cancer. According to the researcher Yu Si from Peking University, education departments and schools they should work together and offer some health courses based on relevant teaching materials. And for hospitals, they can organize some relevant activities such as set stomach cancer education laws. And for community, they can post some relevant information on bulletin boards so that more people can notice that. Then, it is also suggested to do gastroscopy and regular medical checkups every year. According to American Cancer Society, it suggests for every adult, especially over 40 years old, to do gastroscopy every year. In addition, Social Security departments may include gastroscopy in health insurance coverage, so that the price of the test will be lowered and more people can afford it and are willing to do it. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your question, or thank you for your listening. If you have a few seconds to review the 3 questions. If you finish, please check the answers on the screen. If you have any question, please raise your hand. I'm willing to answer you. Thank you.
So guys, just make sure that you finish those questions, just to see what you've learned, because I learnt a few things. I've learned a few things about gastric cancer along the way here by studying the information that Cullen has presented. So maybe another 20 seconds just to check those, and then questions we can have. Are there any volunteers to ask questions? Okay, no volunteers. All right, so I will choose, I don't know, what about Adam? Can you ask a question, please, Adam? And then maybe Luke. So Adam and Luke.
Can you give me some names of countries that have high occurrence rates of the stomach cancer?
Thank you for your question. Gastric cancer mainly occurs in Asia, such as South Korea, Japan, Mongolia, and China.
Well, in my opinion, Japan and South Korea have similar styles and habits with China. Can you briefly introduce the situation in Japan and South Korea? Do they have different situations?
Thank you for your question. In fact, Japan and South Korea, they also have high rates of gastric cancer, but at the same time, they also have high healthy rates. This is because in Japan and South Korea, they publicize gastroscopy widely, and I think they pay more attention to regular medical checkups than Chinese people.
Okay, so that's, I might have a question about that. So, Cullen, you're saying they've got higher healing rates because they get checked for it. So it's maybe identified at an earlier stage, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and I know if we look at your slide 6 or number 4, methods to lower down the rate, what's your opinion? This is let's look at 4.3. Yep, that 4.3 there. So how can we get Chinese people, and more importantly Chinese men, say, how can we get them to do more of these? To do these checkups, to be able to identify that cancer at an earlier stage? In your opinion, this is just your opinion based on what you've studied.
I think first one is I think the reason why people are willing to do gastroscopy is that they know the importance of gastroscopy. So before do gastroscopy, I think they should more aware of this disease, and they are more willing to do it. Even though it has a high price. In addition, if the government or social security department, they include this in health insurance coverage, and the price will be much lower. And even some maybe people from country side, they can also afford it.
Some of the barriers you're saying are price. Do men enjoy going to the hospital in China? Is it something that a man would do, or do they need to be encouraged a lot to do it, to get checkups? What do you think the culture is there around, looking after your own health? Does that need to change? Do people need to, change their attitudes around going to hospitals more often, or do you think mainly it's the price that's the largest factor there? This is in just your opinion. So I just want your ideas. You don't need to refer to sources here.
Sorry, Sarah. Can you repeat? I didn't
So men in China, let's focus on men because more men suffer from gastric cancer. So men in China, like in Australia, men generally don't like to go to hospitals, they don't like to get checkups, they don't like to visit the doctor because they think they should just fix the problem themselves or ignore the problem or something like that. So do you think men in China have a similar attitude like that, or do you think it's just the price of these treatments is the main reason why more people don't get checked out for this type of cancer or doing a gastroscopy? I can't even say that. Yeah, gastroscopy.
In my opinion, I think more people are willing to do medical checkups. For example, my mother, and she always take my grandma, grandpa to do medical checkups every year. I think the problem is not the money. I think it is awareness because she knows how the medical checkups is important. And if we...
Okay. So out of all of the ones that you've got on the screen there, it sounds like you're saying education would be the biggest and fastest way to improve the situation.
Because I think some parents, some adults, they are not aware of this disease, but if their children are aware know the importance of the disease, maybe they can encourage their parents or change their parents' decision, because I think to some extent children is more convinced than other people, because maybe some parents they believe their children more than others, such as
Okay, so you're talking about educating young people. What about other types of education or community education? Do you think that would have a large impact?
It's hard to say because yet is publicizing. Even some people they are aware of the disease, but with all kinds of reasons, they maybe yet it is maybe hard for them to take the action. So it just.
Can you think of another issue in China where public education helped to improve it? Or anybody in the audience, can you guys think of a situation where it might be about garbage classification, it might be about eating well, it might be about quitting smoking? Can you think of another?
I think food waste is a good example because when we at a restaurant, almost all restaurants, even a small restaurant, they also have some information on the board to inform us we should to save food and yes. And we have
Okay. And do you think that's had an impact in China, a positive impact?
I think it does because I know I need to see.
Okay, so maybe something similar to that. Maybe something similar to that might be effective, yeah? Okay. All right, Cullen. I've asked you enough questions. Thank you. Okay, now there was a lot of questions you might have noticed I didn't ask Cullen. That was because